Welcome to another exciting episode of Your Reputation Precedes You. Today, we're joined by my dear friend, world famous ghostwriter Mindy Scarlett. Mindy, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Thank you, Mindy. And also, just for those people that don't know, can you briefly explain what a ghostwriter is?
Yes, basically, I extract the book out of my clients when they don't have time to write it themselves. So it's their content, their voice, their experiences. I just help them get it down on pages, get it turned into artwork, and get it uploaded and turned into a best-selling book on Amazon.
So you're the one that's actually extracting and composing, collating all this information together, putting it in how it needs to be so that it appears as a manuscript, chapter-wise, etc., so that it then finds
it. And the very first meeting is all about making sure they're writing the book they should write to shine a light on their business.
Correct. Okay. And I think that's a great segue to talking about the topic at hand, which is booking more clients. I guess pun intended, since we are talking about a book. So
right.
Please tell us, how can a book be used to book more clients?
Well, because the book will really, when you do like a 15-minute Zoom call, it's really hard to totally communicate everything that you're capable of doing for that person. But let's just say, say for the sake of argument that you do have a Zoom call with someone and you think that there's some synergy and you think that they could really become a good client, but they're not sure. Well, then you say, hey, okay, give me your land address and I will send you a copy of my book. And then that way they can really do a deep dive and then go through the book and say, oh, wow, yeah, this person can really help me. Look at all this experience. I'm going to sound like a broken record because I say this in just about every conversation, that the most important decision to make is what book to write. And trust me, I've talked people out of what they thought they wanted to write. I had a business coach come to me one time convinced that he was going to do a book on business communication. Walked into my office, no joke, this much paper, all the notes and all the slides. He did all these presentations. And once I talked through with him what he was hoping to accomplish, I'm like, you really need to write a book about your coaching process, because he had a unique way of doing it. And so that's what we ended up doing. And it was an Amazon bestseller in 4 categories. And 4 years later, he is still doing book signings at Barnes & Noble. He's still using it to book clients. And he's also getting booked by local colleges to come and speak, all based on the book that he wrote.
Wow. So instead
of writing the book on business communication, which is a lot of people write on that. So to even make him a bestseller in that category would have been hard. We did it on his process and we changed it. So the title was Picture Perfect Business Success, How to Go from Confusion to Clarity in Your Business. And it just explained how he sat down with his clients and step 1, step 2, step 3. And then I got him to tell stories about how each step that he did with clients, how that helped them and what the positive outcome was. So it was entertaining because, some of the stories were actually funny. And because, people do say the oddest things sometimes. But the whole point was when they got done reading that book, they really understood who he was as a professional and what he was capable of helping them do. Whereas if it had just been an informational book on business communication and the disc theory, then he wouldn't have gotten so far with it.
Interesting. So the book essentially is an almost extended view of him, and it's intended to create trust and confidence in the heart and mind of the reader. And then after that, and I guess people would much rather work with somebody where that someone tells them something specific to their business as to what they should do, as opposed to try and figuring out themselves by reading the book, which of course would contain knowledge that technically can be applied to them. But of course, that would take a much longer time. So, and since people are impatient, they'd much rather have the expert work with them. And I guess hence, that's the psychology of giving away the knowledge or a significant part of the knowledge a way or sharing that in the book, but then ultimately people find it a lot easier to work with the expert and then choose to do so.
Yeah, and we even did a chapter on business communication. Ultimately.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if it was just down to information, we could all look up what we wanted to know about on Google and everybody would be wonderful. But the challenge is getting to know, as a business owner, you wear a bunch of different hats. And if you have to take the time to become an expert in every single category, you'll never get any business done.
Right.
I think it was, I'm trying to remember, I don't know if it was John Paul Getty or one of the Astors, one of the big turn of the century millionaires. He was asked about, what did he know about the steel industry? And, that he must be an expert. And he said, no, I just hire experts.
Interesting.
Yeah, because when you think, because see, here's the thing. And this is something that took me a while to learn, that there's a big difference between being a business owner and being self-employed.
What's the difference?
Well, if you're self-employed, you've just basically created a job for yourself that earns you money. Now, that means that you've gone, okay, I'll just, a simple illustration. So if you're a hairdresser, you can hang out your shingle and you can be a self-employed hairdresser. But there's only so many hours in a day, there's only so many clients that you can do, and there's a cap on how much you can make. But if you launch a business of a hair salon and you hire 10 other people, let's say 9, so the math works, and you're the 10th person, and you get a percentage of everything that they do, you now have a business. Because if you go away for 2 weeks, you're still making money because your employees are still there cutting hair and you're still getting a percentage of everything that they do. So and then when you come back, you're still making theirs and you're still making your own. So that's kind of just a really simple way to explain the difference between having a business and being self-employed.
Interesting. Wow. That is really interesting. Wow. So the book essentially is a way for you to be not self-employed, but to in fact be a business owner.
Being viewed as a business owner, a coach, consultant, a thought leader, somebody who really knows what they're talking about. Not just someone who's created a job for themselves.
Correct. Wow. So thank you, Mindy. That greatly helped. I think the illustration helped as well to clarify exactly what you meant, which I think is going to make it really clear in the minds of our listeners when they hear this or watch this, depending on the case. And people, that's the reason why you need to work with Mindy, who will sort you out. She will clarify as to why you're doing what you're doing, but more importantly, how it's going to help you, because that needs to be center of attention, center of focus right through the entire process, because that is what you're moving towards. So Mindy, this was terrific. What I would like to talk about maybe in the next episode is how we could use the book to get paid engagements, because that is something that I'm running into a lot, where a lot of people want to be this, not just the published author part, but they also want to be on stages, they want to be on TV, they want to have all of these various media appearances. And I would love to hear your perspective on that. And
Sure.
We will in the next episode of Your Reputation Precedes You.